Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, January 12th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and the tool of technical analysis and how it can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering in a couple of days. So if you're liking what you see and you do want to learn more about the tool and how it can be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, then there's going to be an area right there on the webpage that you can click on. So just keep that in mind, and if you're liking what you see, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Now, before I get to the stocks, just real quick, a couple of clarification points. First off, I will be using the 30-minute time frame. So what do I mean by that if you're new? Well, each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. And then next, the market is still open for a little bit of time. So that candle there on some of the stocks will continue to be moving around. And I like to do these videos when the market's still open for a little bit, because sometimes we can capture some really interesting price action. But as far as the general principles that I'm talking about, they will still be completely relevant as we head into Wednesday. So first one here, ticker symbol LCID. And this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched previous videos I did, as it was in the top 10 list. But talked about this pattern here, and then a classic example right there of a technical pattern breakout. Got the breakup through that level, and you can see it spent the rest of the day just slowly grinding its way in the upwards direction. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those lines out as they've served their purpose for now with the technical pattern breakout, and do a couple of updates. First update being, the newest level of support right there at the $43.50 mark, which is essentially the previous breakout point. So just a good old-fashioned area of resistance you would now want to see act as support. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, got to squeeze things down here quite a bit, which is a good problem to have. Whoops, I don't have to go that far, because it's been a while since the price has been up around this area of the chart. But the next overarching level of resistance, keep an eye on moving forward, going to be right up there at what is that, about 45.75. So 45.75, public enemy number one here headed into Wednesday. But all in all, very nice breakout of that pattern. And now it's just a question of just how much more momentum will come, and we'll see what happens. Next one, PETZ, an absolutely crazy one on Monday, and then pretty crazy today. But now we have a very interesting situation that I wanted to keep on the watch list, because drew that trend line on Monday, and you can see right here the price has actually gotten above the trend line. And it didn't do anything explosive, but it at least started to go sideways. Now, let me be very clear. Just because the price has started to go sideways after, just getting absolutely demolished, does not mean that for sure guaranteed this is the bottom and that for sure the price is going to bounce, if only trading were that easy. However, is it at least plausible? Is it at least a logical thought to have that, maybe, just maybe, with the trend line break and the price starting to go sideways, this could be some sort of bottom where it is now getting ready to bounce back upwards? Yeah, not a guaranteed outcome, but certainly a plausible thought to have. So that's what, I want to just keep this on the watch list, and it's hard. Let me actually zoom this over and make it a little bit easier to see. There we go. So moving forward, the first kind of level that I'm very curious about is, let's see if the price can at least get up above 72 cents. And then after 72 cents, next key overarching level of resistance would be right up there around, what is that, 88 cents. So keep an eye on those couple levels right there. But again, like I said, it's at least started to go upwards here a little bit. Does that, guarantee anything? No. But is it logical to think that this might be the start of a bigger move back to the upside? Yeah, it's worth at least keeping an eye on. Next one, AMC, and this is getting very, very fascinating, at least to me as a technical trader. And this will maybe be fascinating for those of you that have watched the past several videos. But if you have, you know that I've talked about that trend line over and over again and how it's been very stubborn. And we have another scenario with today where the price did get above it, but ultimately, like it did right here, got above it, but failed, got above it, but failed. However, as I speak, and this is why I like to do these when the market's still open, look at this. The price is knocking right there on the door. Oh, look at this. Nice. Look at that. All right, cool. So it is actually breaking through that trend line right now. So the big dynamic heading into tomorrow is this. Is this the start of something bigger? Is this break going to happen? And if it does happen, is it going to continue on? Is that a sign of momentum? Now think about that question. In order to even ask that question, well, something needs to happen in the first place, and we're getting to something happening right now live as I record this video. So yeah, this thing is doing battle. It's seemingly breaking up through that level, but is this the start of something much bigger? Let's see what happens with it. Because especially with AMC, this thing can move and move very quickly, so it's at least worth keeping an eye on. Next one, PHUN, and I like this one for a couple reasons. First off, it is PHUN, which has somewhat of a Kool-Aid following behind it, and when it gets moving, it can move very quickly. And as of right now, there is actually some nice upwards pressure. Now, is it gigantic pressure? Is it just crazy pressure? No, it's definitely slow and methodical. But the point being, these lows are getting higher and higher. So there is some buying pressure that exists out there. But at the same time, there's also a well-defined breakout point. And I like well-defined breakout points because, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. Those can definitely produce some very nice upwards movements. And I suppose people would probably argue getting a nice cup and handle formation here forming. So really the question becomes, can this pattern, whatever you want to call it, cup and handle, can it get up to that 295 mark right there and break out? And while nothing, as I've already established, is guaranteed, it goes back to the question of, is it at least valid? Is it at least logical to think that if the price can come up to that 295 area and get the break, could that create a lot of upside buying pressure? Yeah, it absolutely could. Again, not guaranteed, but that is a plausible thought process to have. And especially in this price range here, these things can get really explosive. But yeah, in my mind, that 295 mark is very fascinating. So I think it's worth at least keeping an eye on. Next one, SBEV. And this is a very fascinating one because of this last 30 minutes. I take that back. Not only because of the last 30 minutes, because the price spiked upward. It did come down, and then it started to work its way up. But then the last 30 minutes, as we're witnessing, very, very nice move. So it just goes back to the whole idea with AMC of, okay, it's starting to move again. You look down here, the volume is starting to come back in during the last 30 minutes. So we have, the AMC question, if you will. Hey, is this the start of something bigger? And when you throw out the trend line, or not the trend line, but the resistance area right there at right around $1.77, that's going to be an area that I think a lot of people will be watching. And it makes sense to think that if the price can go up there, get the break up through that level, then that break in and of itself could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. And, as I speak right now, it's, doing battle with that area. But moral of the story, very, very impressive final 30 minutes of the day. Is this going to lead into more momentum on Wednesday? Certainly worth keeping on the watch list. Next one, TSLA Tesla. And in my mind, we're going to talk about the next and really kind of main self-fulfilling prophecy area, which has become a common theme. But right here at 1075. And I mean, look at this. I promise you that people around the world have drawn this line right here, because just look at all the history of this area, generally speaking. Such a problem point here. Then you fast forward to today, and once again, a problem point. So guaranteed, say it with me, of course not. But is it valid to think that if the price on Tesla can come up to 1075 and get the break of it, that could create a whole nother round of upside buying pressure? It absolutely could. So that is an extremely fascinating level to watch on the resistance side of things. From the support area, so for people that like to play pullbacks or maybe shorts that are wondering, could I try to find some sort of weakness point? That would be right down there around the 1050 mark. But in my mind, the most dynamic and the most interesting level that I think the majority of people around the world will be watching from the technical trading point of view is going to be that 1075 area. Next one here, PLTR. Talked about how this one got off to a nice bounce on Monday, but going into today, it was more of a question of, okay, yeah, nice bounce, but is there any sort of true power behind it? And we got another confirmation signal that there does seem to be some genuine power as the price is now broken above and managed to stay above that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. So moving forward, I don't want to call this a do or die level, but I would consider that 50-period moving average very, very important. So moving forward, you do want to see the price stay up above $16.60. Because, if you think about it, if the price were to come down to right around that area and, just go sideways, what would you still have in that situation? Well, you'd still have a set of lows there when you compare it with that low and then that low. And if you envision those as stair steps, you'd still have good, solid stair steps, progressing in the upwards direction, which is what you want if this upwards bounce is going to have genuine power. Price movements with genuine power are going to show signs of progress. And again, in this situation, the quote unquote sign of progress being staying above 1660. As far as areas of resistance, we have another well-defined area right there. Check that out. $17.25. Crazy. Problem area. And then today, problem area. So if the price can get up there and get the break up through it, that could very well create a whole lot of upside buying pressure. Next one, AMD, and like many of these other tech stocks, a good bounce today. But what I like about this one is just such a well-defined technical pattern. So we have the resistance part of the pattern right there. We have the support part of it right there. In fact, let me change that to green to represent more so the bullish area of the pattern. And then to make this maybe the easiest to see and have this all be one color. So we have the area of resistance there. We have the support right there. We have the momentum move right there. And this would be, bull pennant, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. But overall, nice, healthy pattern. Nice, obvious pattern. And again, obvious going back to the whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies. So more of the story here, if you like to play breakouts, then that 139 mark going to be very important. And with a break of 139, realistically, this thing could at least go up there and do battle with that 200 period moving average, which is currently valid at 142.75. But overall, very nice day for AMD. Nice consolidation and nice pattern. Next one here, NIO, and as of right now, which is the theme here, just well-defined areas. But check this well-defined area out. Right here at $30.50, and that is exactly where the price has all of a sudden started to have some issues. I mean, after that opening 30 minutes, big move up, and then as this area has done in the past, the price has just been struggling with it. And I'm kind of a broken record here. So does that mean that the price can't break through it? Of course not. But does that mean a lot of people are going to be watching and wondering about that area? So could you get a self-fulfilling prophecy? Absolutely. So 30.50 is going to be that key level right there. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these because I realize I'm repeating myself, but sometimes that's just the nature. You're going to have a watch list with a lot of very similar, setups. And, we have one of these again with the 30.50 mark from the support side of things, the level like on PLTR that I would make this chart look the healthiest and best moving forward is going to be staying above that purple line, the 50 period moving average, currently valid at 29.40. But let's see if the price can get the break of 30.50 on Wednesday. Last one here, BARK. I'm not sure I've ever heard of this stock, but you got to give credit where credit's due. Monster volume today, and the price basically went straight up, which is also why you got to do what works for you. And I can see and understand why you might be saying, well, Clay, you know what? I'm going to put that trend line in right there and I'm going to buy the break of that trend line. And I'm not saying you're wrong at all. But for me, this thing has made such a big move that it seems like this could be more of a pullback play, meaning let's see this thing pull back a little bit because it has already made such a big move. But again, that's just my opinion. You could be completely right to say, what are you talking about? No, I'm going to let this consolidate out and then buy the breakout and play the, continuation of the momentum. And hey, that's the beautiful thing about, trading. We all have our different risk tolerances. But in my mind, like I said, I think this is more of a pullback type of play with an interesting pullback area being down there right around $4.35. I suppose you could try to play a bounce off that 200 period moving average, but I mean, that would imply a really, really, really big pullback, which I suppose anything is possible. But to me, right around 435 is an interesting level. But at the end of the day, from a pattern perspective, again, resistance, support, upwards momentum move right there. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play these sorts of patterns, down in this price range, then get this one on your watch list. And that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here from a charting perspective and you're starting to see and realize the potential to build consistency as a trader to help make good, well-informed, not random decisions, then definitely get signed up for the class. Like I said, it'll be in a couple days, Thursday, January 13th. At 7 p.m. Eastern time. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, then communicate that to me by doing a couple easy things. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment. Say hi. Let me know what you traded today. Let me know what you're watching tomorrow. But those two things, hitting the like button and a simple comment, communicate to me that you enjoy these watch list videos. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I have no problem at all continuing to put in the time and effort, to put these watch lists together. And again, if you want to learn more about charts and how they can be used, how they should be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Everybody take care. Have a good one.